Okay, I come to the end for Joe Sewell, his last season in the big leagues, 1933 season, playing for the New York Yankees. How about that? Went to the World Series a couple times. Ken Arjun here in Vista, California, Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025. Interesting character, this Joe Sewell. Have you heard of him? I've read about him in baseball books. I have a list of Hall of Famers. How did he make the Baseball Hall of Fame, Joe Sewell? 2,226 hits career, 312 career batting average. So those numbers are not eye popping. But what he did at the plate, I think, earned him a reputation of being the greatest contact hitter of all time. I don't think there's anyone else who comes close to what he did, establishing a record for fewest strikeouts in a career, 114 strikeouts in 14 years. There's some other players you can consider: Nellie Fox, Lloyd Wayner, Willie Keeler. Those guys, very few strikeouts in their career. But something stands out with Joe Sewell. So let's look at his 1933 season. He's 34 years old. This will be the last season. 135 games, 524 at-bats, 87 runs scored, 143 hits, 18 doubles, 1 triple, 2 homers, 54 RBI. He bats .273, uncharacteristic. He had 10 seasons of 300 up to this point. 361 on base, 323 slugging, 169 total bases. So he finishes his career average. This is a guy that has two. Now, he had one 200 hit season. He had two 190 hit seasons. And then he had 5 seasons over 180. Out of his 14 years, 10 years, 300 or better. So he played 1,903 games, got 7,132 at-bats, scored 1,141 runs. I'd like to have seen that go up to 1,500, but what he did was he only played 14 years. I tried looking. I looked everywhere I could to see, why did Joe Sewell retire after the 1933 season? 34 years old. He's got 6 more years to go if he plays till 40. I couldn't find out. Could be injury. And you know what else could have happened? He may have gone into another profession. I can't find any autobiographies or biographies of Joe Sewell. I tried looking it up. I looked on Baseball Reference. I looked on Wikipedia. Couldn't find it. It just says he stopped playing. So 1,141 runs, 2 seasons, 100 or more runs scored. Should have been more. Should have been about 8. 2,226 hits in 14 years. If he plays 20, if he had played 20 years, he was on pace for 3,000 hits. Kind of disappointed there that he didn't keep playing. 436 doubles, pretty good. 68 triples, that's low. 49 homers, that's really low. He was not a slugger. 1,054 RBIs. 2 seasons over 100 RBIs, so he was capable. Should have about 5 or 6 of those. 842 walks. But the stat that really stands out, 114 strikeouts. He went about 9 years in a row, single digit strikeouts, 10 or less. 9 years in a row. And he was having 500 at-bats. He holds the record. This is a record that won't be broken. In 1925 season, 608 at-bats. Not plate appearances. Plate appearances was 699, but I'm counting the at-bats. 608. He struck out 4 times. Incredible. Now, if you read about his Wikipedia page, it says that he went 115 games. Or, I think it was, let's see, I've got it here. Yeah, he went 115 games. And listen to this. 442 at-bats in a row without striking out. That is a record that will not be broken. You think anybody in today's age can go 608 at-bats and strike out 4 times? Nobody comes even close. How about the 114 career strikeouts? Like I've mentioned before, there are players who strike out 114 times before the All-Star break, like in 80 games. Of course, there's a record of players striking out 200 times in a season. I won't mention the names. It's too embarrassing. How about that? 200 strikeouts in 1 year. And Joe Sewell goes 14 years, 1,900 games, and a total of 114 strikeouts. What is going on with this guy? Is he the greatest contact hitter of all time? Listen to this. These are his strikeout totals. 14 years. First year, 4. Then 17, 20. 20 was the highest in a year. Then he had 12 and 13. So the first 5 years, 4 of those years, double-digit strikeouts, but it was like low numbers. 17, 12, 17, 20, 12, and 13. After that, he said, I've had enough of this. I am not going double-digit strikeout ever again in my career. So listen to the totals. 4, 6, 7, 9, 4, 3, 8, 3, and 4. Finish out his career. Incredible. Amazing. 312 career batting average. His high was 353. He had 10 seasons over 300, 4 under 300. One of the seasons was 299. So we can say maybe 11 seasons, 300 mark. 391 on base, 413 slugging career, 2,945 total bases. I was hoping that would have been higher. Never had a 300 total base season. So what do you think of Joe Sewell here? That's why I covered him. I was curious about the guy. Just 14 years. Should have played longer. Where does he rank among the great hitters of the past? Consistent. Listen to this. He played 150 games or more in a season. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years in a row. 150 or more games. He had a consecutive game streak. I've got it here. What was that consecutive game streak? He played over 1,000 games in a row without consecutive game streak. 1,000 games. So where does he rank? Top 50. Can't put him in the top 10, 20, or 30. I can think of 30 to 40 players better hitting than him. His high was 353. A lot of players, they have some seasons that are higher than that. And also they have more 300 batting average seasons. Top 45 right in there, interchangeable. Between 40, 45, and 50. I'd put him right there. 312 career batting average. He makes the Baseball Hall of Fame. You know, he wasn't a big guy. He was 5'6", 155 pounds. But what I read about was he had a 40-ounce bat. And so I think as the pitch came in, made contact, either poked at it, slapped at it, or just wailed on it. 40-ounce bat maybe really contributed to the fact that he could make contact. So we're done with Joe Sewell. Again, when I finish a series, what I like to do is let everybody know who I've covered up to this point. All these players that I'm going to mention right now, 300 or better career batting average. And I've looked at every single season of all these guys, starting with episode 1001. Babe Ruth, Ty Cobb, Lou Gehrig, Stan Musial, Tris Speaker, Rogers Hornsby, Ted Williams, Tony Gwynn, Ed Delonte, George Sisler, Jesse Burkett, Joe Jackson, Willie Keeler, Billy Hamilton, Harry Heilman, Joe DiMaggio, Bill Terry, Lefty O'Doul, Dave Orr, Dan Brothers, Pete Browning, Nap Lajoie, Al Simmons, Sam Thompson, Cap Hansen, Jimmy Fox, Honus Wagner, Willie Mays, Henry Aaron, Hank Greenberg, Hugh Duffy, Eddie Collins, Paul Wainer, Lord Wainer, Chuck Klein, Sam Rice, Roberto Clemente, Henny Manouche, Pete Rose, Rod Carew, Kirby Puckett, Ross Youngs, Joe Medwick, and now I'm done with Joe Sewell. Who's next? Again, I like 300 or better career batting average. And there's a guy on the list here, 13 years in a league. He played for the Cleveland Indians, 1930s, and a little bit of the 1940s, 13-year career. Earl Averill. Why? I'm curious about the guy. Go through his seasons. We'll find out this guy can hit. So I'll cover Earl Averill next every season. Talk to you later. I'm out.